Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking a minute just to listen to what God is saying to me about your season and your eyes. You know, this particular time in our lives, we have so much that we're facing. We know about the corona. I don't even want to mention that word because I know that God supersedes everything and everybody. He's in charge. But one of the things, the reason why I believe that he wanted me to talk to you briefly about this message is because he wanted me to make sure you understand why you had an opportunity, like me. I had an opportunity in that season of your life. And one of the things God wanted me to share with you in regards to this message is because I got up this morning and I started to think as I'm listening to my WPTs, you can hear right now, speak Lord. And I thought God speak to me about what I see, Sunday, what I see in the spirit concerning those that I looked in their eyes. Listen to me. You know, I know you've already got the other email about coming together and doing what we need to do in regards to celebrating one another. But I literally begin to see your eyes. I know that many of you who have come in contact with me over the years that may have even heard a teaching of some kind or maybe even counseled you in your ministry or just whatever that was. But you hear me today. God is speaking to you. And this is nothing but to make sure you understand. When I learned about the corona and all of this and understood that she would not be able, we're talking about Prophetess Monique Lampkin, who God spoke to her in regards to getting us together so that we can celebrate one another. You know, the song came in my heart as I was laying and meditating this morning. One of these mornings, and it won't be very long, you're going to look for me and I'll be gone. And I'm saying this to say not to have any pity parties, but to make sure you understand that when I looked in your eyes, it wasn't about your season, but it was also about your eyes, our Sunday. When we think about our eyes, when we think about, Proverbs 20 and 27, when we think about the eyes, when I look in your eyes, my God, I can still see the eyes of gratitude, the eyes of hope, the eyes of destiny, the eyes of ministry where God was birthing you out of. The eyes that I saw that was crying because God used Sandy Murphy, God used ELST, this ministry, as a spiritual mother, as a mentor or a counselor, whatever they was, a coach, a midwife, or whatever they was, or just some service type that I gave you, educated by the power of God in my life to sharpen your warfare iron in some way. And as this one vessel that God used, when I look in your eyes, I trust that God has used me to serve you in your season. Now, what do I mean by your season? That it is about your season. What I mean, I want to share this really, really quick, that when we think about times and season, we always say, well, that was a season that God used you in my life. So that's over. That's done. God is shifting and changing things. But guess what? Just like God is our daddy God, he uses vessels. And those vessels, I don't care how that person was toward me, that ordained me, that spoke into my life, there was nothing I could ever say bad about her, and she's gone to glory today. And one thing I do know is that when God uses a season, the word times and seasons are very interchangeably. And it's always like that throughout the Bible. And as we look at them those two words, they have very great distinctions. Time signifies duration, while seasons signifies characteristics of that duration of time. And so you got to know as a season in this time that God used me to look in your eyes. And you got on that, across that, you walked across and came, and God allowed me to use these hands of the anointing and speak over your lives and spoke in the belly of what God has put inside of you. A season of time that was preordained for that event to take place, my God, in your life. It was very necessary for you to accomplish, for you to get where you are today to take place. I don't want to preach. I want you to understand something. God is trying to use this season and this time, this fixed time that God has talked to Prophetess Monique, for us to come together, because one of these mornings, you might get to come to me, or I might get to come to you that says, oh my God, if I had to use that season and that time that Dr. Murphy was trying to get me to see, that appointment that Prophetess Monique has been given for us to come together and unify. Now, I don't want to be on here long, but I want you to understand something, that when I look in your eyes, the Bible tells us in Proverbs 20:27 that the spirit of man is the lamp of God. It searches all the innermost parts of our being. And I believe that when I looked in your eyes, I obeyed God. I obeyed God when he told me, send them out, ordain them. Let them know that what they have heard is true. Many of you have started churches. Many of you, God has used this ministry to get you to where you need to be. And heaven forbid if you won't even at least get on the conference call that she's trying to let you see at least what she would like to see if you could just help her with. I pray that you would do that. I will not be on the call. She has set this call up because of what's going on in the atmospheres everywhere with this infection. I pray that you'll get on there. She has scheduled that for this Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. For those that are calling from out of town, you can at least get on the call and hear her out if you do nothing else but pray for her, because she has a great endeavor that this woman has to be just hearing God, trust me. And so I thank God that she's going to be used mightily. I will show up at the event to celebrate with all of us, but I will have nothing once again to do with this endeavor. I just bless God for her being obedient to the Holy Spirit. And those that do that, God gives great reward. Why? Because she knows that when she obeys God, she has heard him. Listen to me. No matter how wicked and no matter what things people may go through or what we've seen even now, regardless of what that thing is, regardless of what God is allowing, you can rest assured that in that season, as I just talked about just a few minutes ago, that necessary assignment, you came to ELST. In some degree, he wants to use what he has already done through you to celebrate one another, to help push up one another, to see what we can do for one another. I can tell you what you can do for me right now. You can pray. And I'm going to pray with you before I get out here. But you need to take these informations down that I have put in the body of this particular video. It's going to be 605-475-5900. And the passcode is 3374. 21, and she's going to send this out. All you got to do is call her. You see her contact information there. You can talk to her personally about everything, because I told her I don't want to know nothing. All I want to do is show up and celebrate with you for what God has done in your ministry. That's 713-301-7487. Contact her. The email is all that is in the body of this. Now, you listen to me. I'm getting off of here. The Bible tells us in Ecclesiastes 9:10-11, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. But there's no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. Verse 11 says, I return to silence of the sun, that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happen it to them all. And I believe that God has allowed that. You got to remember Psalms 133:1-2 that says, behold, how good, yes, and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. You know, it too can make better, right? To do more, right? To lift one another's arms up when they're weary. I need you to help her out. Will you get with her and help her to see what she could do that's trying to help us all out to come together before it's too late? I want to pray with you even now. Father, I thank you that even now that the power of your blood of love is going in the ear and the heart of that one that is listening. So I bind the fear. I bind the hurtful perceptions that has caused deception from the voices of old pain or rejection. And I loose faith right now in the name of Jesus. I release even now over this call by the apostolic oil on my life, God's healing blood of love over you even now. I bind those spirits, and I loose that even now that God will speak to your heart. I speak that over you and your family even now in your ministry, that you will obey God and think about your season and your eyes that locked with mine when I laid hands on you or even spoke to you over these calls or counseled you. God is saying, go, help, seek, do what you can do even now, because no man holds any time. While time involves a length of measure of moments, we got to look at that as a fixed moment in time that God is calling unto you even now. I obeyed God in that time. I obeyed him and brought you to this next dimension in your life that you are giving God all glory for, that he used ELST for. I challenge you to get a hold of her. God bless you so much for listening. We'll talk soon. I look so forward to meeting with you all.